Have you ever found yourself feeling drained, anxious, or unsettled around someone, but couldn't quite pinpoint why? It's as if their presence alone brings negativity into your life, leaving you uneasy. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. Many of us have been there, silently wondering if it's just us or something deeper. We all want to believe the best in people, but the truth is, some individuals aren't as good as they seem. They may smile to your face, but are quietly bringing chaos into your life. Ignoring the signs can lead to emotional pain and even betrayal. But you don't have to live in confusion or fear. In this video, we'll uncover 10 subtle signs that reveal when someone is truly toxic and how to protect yourself from their harmful influence. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know how to create a protective space around you, full of positivity and calm. And before we dive in, I'd love for you to engage with the teachings today. Comment below with the affirmation, "I choose to protect my peace," to make this lesson personal for you. Now, let's begin. Let's face it, not everyone around us has good intentions. You may have noticed that there are people who seem to drain your energy or who seem to thrive on creating chaos. We've all had those moments when a friend or a colleague makes a subtle comment that doesn't sit right with us. You leave the conversation feeling uneasy, even if you can't exactly put your finger on why. It's important to understand that toxic individuals are not always obvious. Some of the most harmful people wear a friendly mask but slowly chip away at your sense of peace and happiness over time. They can be coworkers, friends, or even people in your own family. But you don't need to live under their negative influence. You can regain control over your emotional health by recognizing the signs early and taking steps to create boundaries. As we move forward, I'll share solutions for each toxic behavior we discuss, so you'll know exactly how to handle them when they appear. Taking pleasure in others' pain. Let's start with the first sign. Taking pleasure in others' pain. Have you ever been around someone who seems to smile when others are struggling? This is a clear sign of a toxic individual, someone who derives joy from the discomfort or failures of others. Maybe it's a coworker who laughs when you make a mistake, or perhaps it's a friend who seems to get a thrill from gossiping about others' misfortunes. This behavior shows a complete lack of empathy and signals that this person might intentionally create drama or conflict just to watch others struggle. If you notice this behavior, it's time to distance yourself emotionally. The need to control everything. Now let's talk about control. Toxic individuals often try to control not just their own lives, but also the lives of those around them. Think about that friend or family member who always decides where to meet, what to do, or how things should be. It's not a discussion, it's a command. These people feel uncomfortable when they aren't in control, and if they sense you resisting, they may manipulate the situation to regain power. You might see this in a relationship where a partner constantly checks up on you, or with a boss who micromanages every detail of your work. Set boundaries. Let them know that while you respect their opinions, you also deserve the freedom to make your own choices. This subtle but firm pushback can help establish your independence. But what happens when this control goes deeper? When it's no longer just about telling you what to do, but starts to feel like they are controlling your emotions as well? That's what we'll uncover next. Stay with me, because you'll want to recognize this before it happens. Strange feelings in their presence. One of the most common signs that you're dealing with a toxic person is simply feeling strange or uncomfortable around them. You might not even know why, but every time you're around this person, you feel anxious, drained, or on edge. Your body and mind may pick up on subtle cues that your conscious mind doesn't immediately register. Trust these feelings. If you constantly feel uneasy around someone, your intuition is trying to tell you something. It's time to start listening. Begin to distance yourself mentally and emotionally. Start by limiting the time you spend with this person, and take note of how you feel when you're not around them. Lack of responsibility. Have you ever met someone who seems to never take responsibility for their actions? Every time something goes wrong, it's someone else's fault. These toxic people love to play the victim, shifting blame and never owning up to their mistakes. Maybe it's a coworker who messes up a project and then turns to you and says, "Well, you didn't explain it clearly enough." Or a friend who constantly causes drama but never admits their role in it. The key is to not engage. When they try to make you feel guilty for their mistakes, don't take the bait. Politely but firmly place the responsibility back where it belongs. Habit of lying. Lying is another common trait of toxic people. They might lie about big things, like their intentions, or small things, like why they missed an event. These lies build up over time and create a foundation of distrust. You might have a friend who constantly fabricates stories or exaggerates their accomplishments, or a partner who withholds the truth. Whatever the case, dishonesty breaks down the trust that is vital for healthy relationships. If someone lies consistently, confront them about it. Let them know that trust is the foundation of all relationships and that their dishonesty is causing harm. If the behavior continues, it may be time to reconsider the relationship. But what about the people closest to us? You might be thinking, what happens when the toxic person isn't a colleague or a distant friend, but someone close, like family? Let's dive into that next, and I'll share how you can protect your inner peace, even in those situations. Lack of remorse. Toxic individuals often show a complete lack of remorse for their actions. When they hurt someone, they rarely, if ever, apologize or acknowledge their wrongdoing. Instead, they might twist the situation to make you feel like you're overreacting or being too sensitive. Don't let them gaslight you. Acknowledge your own feelings, and don't allow their dismissal to make you doubt yourself. You have every right to expect empathy and respect in your relationships. Cruelty. Cruelty is an extreme but telling sign. A toxic person may act with outright malice, intentionally hurting you or others, either with words or actions. If you find yourself in a relationship where cruelty is present, whether emotional, verbal, or physical, it's crucial to recognize this as a sign to leave. Protect yourself by walking away. There is no reason to tolerate cruelty in any form. Seek support from friends, family, or professionals who can help you create a plan to distance yourself. Contempt. Contempt is perhaps one of the most destructive emotions in any relationship. It involves looking down on others, belittling them, or treating them as inferior. If someone consistently makes you feel worthless or undermines your self-esteem, that is a clear sign of toxicity. Remember that your self-worth is not defined by others. Take steps to rebuild your confidence and limit your interactions with this person. Negative influence on others. Toxic people can sometimes have a ripple effect, negatively influencing those around them. You may notice that when they're around, tension rises and even other people begin to act differently. Be mindful of how others react to this person's presence. If you notice a negative shift, it's a sign to distance yourself both for your own well-being and for the peace of the larger group. One final sign you should never ignore. Now, we've covered many signs of toxic people, but there's one final, crucial sign that you need to watch out for. It's the most subtle and dangerous of them all. Stick around, because this one might surprise you. Passive aggressiveness can be difficult to detect, but is incredibly toxic. It shows up as sarcasm, backhanded compliments, or veiled insults. You might have a friend who says, "Oh, I didn't think you could pull that off," or a coworker who avoids direct confrontation but makes sly remarks. Address passive-aggressive behavior directly. Let them know how it makes you feel and establish that you won't tolerate this form of communication. If the passive-aggressive behavior continues after addressing it, it's essential to set firm boundaries. Let them know you value clear, honest communication, and if they can't respect that, it may be time to distance yourself from them. Your peace and emotional health should never be compromised for the sake of keeping a toxic person in your life. There you have it, the 10 clear signs that you may be dealing with a toxic person, and the steps you can take to protect yourself from their harmful influence. Remember, toxic people thrive on control, manipulation, and negativity, but you don't have to live under their shadow. By recognizing these behaviors early and establishing strong boundaries, you can reclaim your peace, happiness, and emotional well-being. If any of these signs resonated with you today, take a moment and comment below with the affirmation, I choose to protect my peace. Your emotional health is your priority, and you deserve relationships that uplift and inspire you. Before you go, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our future teachings. We regularly explore topics to help you maintain balance, peace, and wisdom in your everyday life. Thank you for joining us today on Buddhist Teachings. May your path ahead be filled with light and harmony. Until next time, stay mindful and keep nurturing your inner peace.